It is Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I haven't done videos the last 2 days because, as you can hear, I sound like shit. This is me sounding a lot better than I have over the last 2 days. I managed to get through the Monday night game and the Tuesday night game with a great deal of medication and a bit of alcohol. But following that, I crashed, and I have felt horrible. So, I'm heading back into the office today. I've not been into the office for the last couple of days. Did a bit of working from home. And it's time to get back on the videos as well. So, I apologize for my voice. It's all I've got at the moment. I'm going to do a recap of the Monday night game since we never got around to that. And hopefully then feel better soon. So the Monday night game, the session 0, we introduced all of our characters. We have ended up with 4 native Fenrisians and 2 non-Fenrisians. I believe I've labeled in the campaign the outsiders. Yeah, among the Fenrisians, we've got a couple oddities. We've got a rune shaman, so they have a bit of magic. Rune shaman is one of the special classes or a special mystic discipline that I created for the campaign. We also have a paladin, who are very, very rare on Fenris. In fact, for those who are familiar with 40k, the paladin is kind of the lone wolf mechanic that I've developed for the campaign. So I have created an Oath of the Lone Wolf, which is a paladin oath, which is going to mean that he has access to some magical abilities, but they're not going to be overtly magical for the most part, which is why it doesn't really get noticed. The abilities kind of help to explain the abilities that a lone wolf possesses over and above other warriors. So I think that works out well. We also have a hunter, which is just a literal renaming of a ranger. Because on Fenris, really, ranger would have no context, really. I mean, you could call them a hunter, you could call them a scout, but ranger really just would not fit the culture. So it's exactly the same as a ranger, but not called that. He is playing it a very low magic variant, so again, there may be some minor things in there, but they're going to be very discreet, not things that would be typically picked up on. And then we have a barbarian. I can't believe that I created a barbarian world, described it as a barbaric world, gave them bonuses for being from that world that perfectly fit a kind of melee-based barbarian high hit point character type, and only got 1 barbarian. I was quite surprised at that. And then for our outsiders, we have a blood hunter, which is not going to go over very well with the people of Fenris when they start seeing how he does what he does. And for good measure, why not? The other traveler on the ship that crashed here is actually a Thousand Sun, the most feared and hated of all of Fenris' enemies. Now, his background is that he actually left the Suns when he saw the fall happening, and that he was not part of it, that he remained, that he did not succumb to the warp. Now, obviously, whether that's believed, whether that's trusted, whether that holds true, all of that is to be determined. And we will see as the campaign progresses how that goes on. So we have a very interesting group there. And once we had kind of worked out the dynamics and gotten to the point where they were asking, well, how are we going to come together? How are we going to meet? How is our village going to react to these people? Because I did want them out of character to have a discussion about how their characters would feel about each other before they meet in character, so that the in-character meeting can flow a bit more naturally. They've had time to think about it. So I had them have that discussion. Then they started getting into, how will our village react? How will the other people here deal with it? Which it then turned out, after a bit of time, not to be an issue for the most part, because we then moved into the timed event that I had mentioned. And this was kind of a test for me. I wanted to see what running a non-combat or possibly even semi-combat initiative order event on a clock would be like. So I set them a 20-minute clock in initiative order. What are you doing? Go. And basically what it amounted to was, it amounted to the amount of time they had before the fires on the ship burned too hot for them to stay on the ship. I have to admit, I don't think they were prepared for it. I mean, I didn't tell them to prepare for it, so that would be why they weren't prepared for it. But they did waste a lot of time with a lot of non-critical elements, which in most points of the game are great, but when you step into a time challenge is the time to cut those off and save them for later. So the nice big flowery descriptions of spells, or the questions about more esoteric topics, probably not best for during a timed event. So they didn't get as much done as I think I would have thought they would have, or they might have hoped they did. They managed to save a few people. I think they managed to save 3 members of the Fenrisian crew, that made no sense. 3 members of the Spelljammer crew, and 1 Fenrisian. Basically because the ship had crashed into the village and destroyed 90% of the village, killing everyone, of course. And we left the night with them on the hill, looking down on the burning village and burning ship, with their 4 survivors unconscious on the ground beside them, and with the rune shaman carrying the dead, decapitated body of the Jarl, the town chief. Overall, I thought it was a fun session. I enjoyed it. I thought the players seemed to be engaged. I think the event caught people off guard, but I don't think it was in a negative way necessarily. I think I will probably use a few more of those as we roll forward. Obviously, I'm not going to make everything a timed event, but from time to time, I think throwing those in there could be a good thing. Anyway, that's about all of my voice I am up to using. So like, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with a Disney video. No idea what I'm talking about yet. I'll think about that today. And I'll be back on Monday with the next predictions video. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you later.